I never thought a simple trip to the hair salon would turn my world upside down. But it all started with one soft touch. And a name I'd never forget. It's been almost 5 years since I started going to that salon. Once a month, like a quiet ritual, I would go to care for my hair, one of the few things I still did just for myself. My name is Mary. I'm 45, living in the suburbs of Tokyo. My daughter is grown, and my husband and we're still together, peacefully so. But our relationship has become more of a formality over the years. That day, I walked into the salon like usual, only to see a young man I hadn't seen before. His reflection appeared in the mirror, and he bowed slightly with a shy smile.
I just started training here today. My name is Jack.
He looked barely into his 20s. There was still a trace of boyishness in his features, and yet his eyes were straight and sincere.
Let me take your bag for you.
As he reached out, our fingertips touched just for an instant. But in that brief moment, a soft jolt passed through me. No, that's ridiculous. He's a hairdresser. I'm twice his age. I told myself that. And yet, something about Jack's gentle tone and his overly attentive care stirred a place deep within me that I had almost forgotten existed. The next time I visited, he was there again.
Good to see you again. Your bangs have grown a little, haven't they?
I smiled. Why did those words make me feel so happy? Before I knew it, I found myself glancing at him in the mirror. More often than I should have. He still wasn't allowed to cut hair, but he handled shampooing and blow drying. And his hands, they were incredibly gentle. Warm.
Is this okay? Not too strong?
His voice near my ear made my pulse skip. The way his fingers brushed my neck felt almost electric. Or maybe I was imagining it. One rainy afternoon, I ran into him by chance outside the salon. He stood there, holding an umbrella.
Do you have a bit of time? Maybe we could grab a coffee.
I hesitated, then nodded. That moment was the first time I felt my reason start to slip. At a quiet cafe, we sat side by side. He spoke earnestly about his dreams, how hard it was to improve his skills. And then, lowering his eyes, he said softly,
When I touch your hair, it makes me feel calm. I don't know why.
I swallowed. The words didn't come, but something in my heart warmed. He walked me to the station afterward. Our arms brushed as we walked, and I didn't move away. What's happening to me? Still, part of me wanted to feel his fingers again. Not long after, at the salon, he turned to me with a slightly nervous smile.
Miss Mary, would you consider being my model?
They sometimes asked clients to help with training. But I hadn't expected him to ask me.
I've been hoping you'd say yes. Honestly, I've wanted to ask for a while.
His eyes in the mirror were serious, almost pleading. My heart skipped. At first, I was going to say no. But then he added,
Would it be okay if we did it at your place? The salon schedule is a bit tight lately.
I hesitated. It's just practice. Nothing more. I kept repeating that to myself. A few days later, I invited Jack to my home. My husband was away on a business trip. The house was quiet, almost too quiet. He placed a chair by the mirror and began preparing his tools. I watched him move, focused, smooth, and confident.
This is my first time visiting a client's home. I'm actually kind of nervous.
He smiled faintly. The rolled-up sleeves of his white shirt caught the soft light of evening.
Let's begin. Can you tilt your head slightly?
His fingers brushed the back of my neck. It was a professional touch, but still, I felt it. A faint spark.
Is the pressure okay? Yes, it's fine.
I heard my voice tremble. He paused, then looked at me through the mirror.
Am I making you nervous? You're the one making me nervous.
I said with a small laugh, trying to hide the truth. But inside, my heart was racing. The hum of the dryer, his breath, his presence, all of it filled the room. When his fingers brushed behind my ear, I shivered just a little. He noticed.
This is feeling a little strange, isn't it? Maybe. But I don't dislike it.
Silence. We stared at each other through the mirror. He turned off the dryer and set it down quietly.
If you're uncomfortable, I'll stop right now.
His eyes were honest, serious. And a little afraid, I stood. Without a word, I placed my hand on his chest.
I don't want you to stop. Not now.
Before the sentence even finished, his lips met mine. At first hesitant, then deeper, fuller. Whose fingers trembled first as buttons came undone, I don't know. When his body leaned over mine on the sofa, I stopped trying to resist. I let go.
You're beautiful, Mary.
It had been years since someone called me by name. Even my husband hadn't said it in so long. Jack's hands caressed my body not with lust, but with care. As if he were confirming every curve, every breath. Every kiss along my collarbone awakened a heat buried deep within. My fingers tangled in his hair. When I kissed his throat, he let out a soft sigh.
I think I'm really falling for you.
My heart tightened. This might be fleeting, just youthful impulse. But still I said.
Then hold me properly.
His hands changed then. Clothes fell away. Skin met skin. Fingers intertwined. And slowly, deeply, I remembered what it was to be wanted. It wasn't the first time. But it felt like the first time someone truly reached for me. As the heat rose, and our bodies became one, I cried out softly, certainly. By the time morning light slipped through the window, we were still curled together on the sofa. His heartbeat pulsed gently against my chest. I didn't know what future, if any, this would bring. But in that moment, I chose to believe in nothing but the warmth of his touch.